Hey folks, so the property is finally done. Today is the last day I'll be here before the tenant moves in tomorrow. So I just wanted to give you a quick span of what we've done. You've seen a lot of this in one of the other videos. And if you watch the first video, you can tell there's quite a big difference. We put in the driveway here, and I require the tenants to park in the driveway. So I had to blow it off today. And that's turned out pretty nicely. And then this over here, I used the existing stones they had and just pressure washed them. And I got a little new mat, new front door. Painted the house, as you can see, painted the trim. And the front door was kind of a back and forth kind of deal, trying to figure out whether we wanted to paint it a different color, black door, white trim, all black, all white, white door, black trim, whatever. We settled on that. I think it looks pretty good. And our little landscaping that we put in right initially has grown up pretty good. We cleared that out, so it's nice, and got your beauty berries right there. And then that's the camellia. I haven't seen that bloom except for right at the end, so I'll be interested to see that next year. And got the lantanas around the pump house. The pump house still needs some work for sure. Chief among the work it needs is to figure this little deal out. I mean, this is not ideal, so I'll have to figure that out. Hopefully this next week when I come to do the fence. And so we'll head to the backyard. Like I said before, we did all new windows. Well, actually not all windows. The windows in the Florida room are not done. Left that wisteria. Repainted the trim. Well, actually, we didn't repaint the trim. There was no trim on this door. So put the trim up there. Did have to adjust it a little bit up there. Painted the door. These are the 3 windows. These 2. And this one that aren't done. This one and the rest of the ones on this side, the front and the other side are all done. And this may look better in the video than it really is, or it may not, I don't know. This still has to do a lot of cleanup back here. Hey folks, so this is the inside of the house. That's a new front door. We had that one. We had a steel one, and then we had to take it back because we had to cut it, so we had to go get a fiberglass one, and that one actually was probably better than the first one we had. You know, obviously notwithstanding the fact that the first one was the wrong size. But this is the living room. And I don't have any overhead lights in the living room, so they're gonna have to use, you know, some lamps or something. And I'll take us to the right first. These rooms, the only thing I did in these rooms were blinds, new windows, and I flipped the blades on the ceiling fan so the white was down. Oh, and smoke detectors. Same thing here. Smoke detector, blades flipped, new windows, new blinds. There's some drywall patching I did just for, like, you know, nail holes and stuff, like large nail holes, I guess. And I redid the switch plates on all the electrical, rewired, all of that stuff. So on the bathroom, I kind of just pretty much kept it the way it was. I don't really like this stuff, but it matches that stuff, sort of, I guess. Had a new toilet. The only thing I really did in here was a little bit of painting on the baseboards. And then we did replace the window. And instead of dingling me getting a $30 more window that was already frosted, I had to buy that weird looking plant screen thing for, you know, 25 bucks. So word to the wise, just kind of look at your options, but I think that turned out pretty decent. You can tell the difference in where the new and old tiles were, but I mean, again, I was trying to limit my remodeling to as little as possible, and if I did any, I was going to try to do the whole thing, so I kind of just limited this as much as possible. I will get to, you know, probably a new tub, new vanity at some point in time, new flooring, kept the old flooring. So anyways, where I spent the most money and most time would probably be the kitchen. The appliances were already here, but if you can remember what the kitchen used to look like, I have a few pictures here. So because we started so quickly on the teardown of the old kitchen, I don't have a lot of pictures. This is one picture right here, but we already had the doors off. This is most of the, you know, the demolition of the kitchen that you see here, and then, you know, some of the, you know, new remodeling stuff that's taken part, how we moved out that wall and stuff. A few pictures here, but this is what it looks like now. So you have your main working stations over here, you know, your range, your sink area, plenty of upper and lower cabinets. When I say plenty, I mean, keep in mind it's a small house. And we have another section over here. We did bring this out a little bit from where it was before. I think the fridge was sitting over here. And then what we did was we extended this out, the wall probably about that much, to encase that pipe that was sitting over here, you know, between the sink and the range. And you know, if you remember, the range was against the wall over there. And so this section got a little bit wider, and we also brought this out a little bit too, to, you know, make sure it can accommodate these cabinets. And so we have about 9 feet and some inches of cabinets there. Same thing here. These cabinets are actually uppers that we made into lowers. So they are 12 inches, and these are 24. And this has the little cut through. We just use regular casing trim to do that. The electric panels in the kitchen, which is not ideal, but that's where it is, and I wasn't gonna go through the nightmare of redoing that. We added this whole section. They didn't have any cabinets or any appliances over there, so that does eat into the eat-in space. But we figured as little as the kitchen is, it needed as much storage as possible because there's no pantry. So that's a 36 on the left, a 30 on the right, and then a 30 above. Refrigerator's a 30. But this is, we figured, where they would sit. They have a little table out here, and it's not a huge room, but neither is the kitchen. So this is certainly bigger than the eat-in space that the kitchen used to have. And this area right here was like, I think 4 different panels. So I kind of did, you know, one panel, and I put this weird baseboard, roll-out baseboard stuff, and shutting that door. I'll show you that in a minute. And these 3 windows I did not replace, so I'll replace them at some point in time. But they had an exterior door that swung into the laundry appliances. So I busted this door, but I was kind of on the edge anyway, so now it swings properly to the right-hand swing. And so then you can access your washer and dryer over there. This room was black. It does not have a light in, so that's why the light on the phone is working. I think it's been on the whole time, but I don't know how this will actually come out. Hopefully it'll come out not too bad. But we just put a little space there because that was a cut through to this little storage area. I took these things off, painted them, redid the panel all up and down there too. And then I just have some paint, the Rid-X and the AC filters for the tenant, which will occupy tomorrow. And just a little storage area. The water heater's in here. So that's why I did not spend a lot of effort getting, you know, covering these up, because if I ever need to do something with a water heater, I need to actually take off that whole panel. Yep. Not how I would have designed it, but that's how it works. So, you know, I think we're able to do a lot in the areas we wanted to do and needed to do. And then the other areas, like I just basically painted in the Florida room, I would really like to do something different later, but you know, that's what the budget and time frame allowed. So of course, this is what we started with, and it didn't look terrible or anything. It was just kind of like mostly, you know, landscape gone unmanaged. And then we have a number of other photos here that just kind of show some still photos of some of the work that's been done over time. And tree trimmer guys were out and got a couple shots of them, you know, in action right there with the part of the trunk falling down. And some of the mess that was being created there that they cleaned up very nicely by the time they get done. They just kind of put it up there at the front and then took it away later. And that poor stove stayed there for like 2 or 3 months. And that's the driveway and the mailbox. The mailbox was on the other side of the driveway, but I decided to move it over. I thought that was a better idea. Parts of the driveway there as well. So the other agent told me that the electrical at this house was actually better than most of the other houses he had, because he had a number of rentals, the gentleman that had passed away. And this is my work where I had the, you know, the panel torn out and stuff. But, you know, we replaced all the switches, all the outlets, some of the wiring, added some wiring, redid all the breakers in the breaker box to make it look, you know, good. So these are just some still photos of what I think are, you know, the part of the property that makes me the most proud, I guess. The, you know, the changes that we were able to make, which ended up really being the kitchen for the most part, but also the front door. I just thought the front door turned out really well. And I did actually think that the exterior of the property ended up much better improved, if not perfect. Here's probably where I'm going to lose my man card. I think that little goats are like the cutest looking animals. I mean, they're just so stinking cute. And don't get me wrong, they're kind of like cats. You know, they might be cute when they're small, but they grow up and then they're like regular sized goats. So they're not as cool, but they just had these goats and they're just the coolest looking little animals you can see with their real strong color differences. And these are Sandhill Cranes right here. Huge birds, like 4 or 5 feet tall. There's another little goat. You see, look how cute they are. I mean, that's crazy cute. And they won't look like that soon, but I thought it was pretty cute. I figured to wrap up the project, I would just do a couple shots of the neighborhood from the front of the property. And I didn't think there was any better video to finish off this video series than this one, as the sun setting over the lake. If you liked the video, hit the like button, and if you want to see more videos not quite like this but about tractors, you can hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.